Hi, I'm Kat, and today I'm showing you how to make this miniature fire pit that you can make light up. To start this project, you just need some scrap cardboard or poster board from around the house. I'm using an old flyer that was in the recycle bin. Cut it into strips and tape them together to make them longer if you need to. And then you want to form those strips into circles. My largest circle is 4 inches in diameter, and my smaller circle is 2.5 inches in diameter. Then you can trace the circles onto another piece of cardstock or poster board. Half on one side, half on the other. Cut them out and then go on ahead and tape the halves to the larger ring. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is all going to get covered. You can tape or glue the inside ring in place if you'd like, or you could just go on to the next step, which is just to put some aluminum foil on the inside, cushioning the smaller ring between the larger ring, or inside of the larger ring. Tape that in place, and you're done with this part. For the texture, I decided on stacked stone, and I'm going to use a piece of bark to provide that texture. So I used the mold putty and made a mold of it. And I'm also using a mixture of translucent, black, white, beige, and brown clay. Mix them up and they'll kind of form a grayish beige ball, or grayish beige color. And then you can flatten pieces and stick them onto the mold. Press them in place and use a little liquid clay to secure it. Trim off the excess on the sides and the top, and as you add additional pieces, you can score it to keep it in place. Just kind of smush together with the side of your knife, and then you can re-add your lines in. Now the way I'm making this look like stacked stone is just by adding a series of horizontal and vertical lines. Where you have some larger pieces of the bark that are protruding, you can draw a large block around that, because sometimes in stacked stone you have a large block and then you have several other smaller pieces. You don't have to draw every individual stone, you just have to have the general pattern in place. And once finished, you can bake and begin to paint to add detail. I'm using several shades of brown and then a light watered down shade of orange as well. You want to keep most of these blocks going horizontally, but you can have some verticals. And for the inside of this, I'm using actually the bottom of a bottle of water. It's concave, and therefore if I want to put charcoal or some pieces of twigs in later, I can do so. And then I'm just speckling on the back of it with black paint. You do not want to cover the entire thing with black. You just want to speckle it on just a little bit. Then go on ahead and paint the inner rim of your structure in black too. Most of this won't get seen, but the little that is, you'd rather it be painted to match. And then on the other side of the water bottle, on the inside, I use a little bit of red, orange, and yellow paint. And I tried to coat the inside of that very carefully. Anything that didn't get painted, I waited for it to dry somewhat, and then I added in some more yellow. You want every single bit of clear to be covered with orange or red or yellow on the back. Finally, I used a thick sheet of cardboard. And then I traced the outside of my structure and the inner wall onto it. Then I cut it out, giving it a little extra length on the outside and on the inside so that all the interior would be covered. But anything that's left over that you can still see, you can go on ahead and trim out. And then I used some of my leftover beigey gray clay and started cutting in other stones. Now these you will have to do individually, but it's really not that many. The only thing you need to do with these is to put, to make sure they wrap around the front edge, the inner edge, and wrap around the outer edge if they reach it. And then I only did like a quarter at a time using liquid clay to secure it. So I went through and put about a quarter of the stones on, and then I textured them with aluminum foil, baked them, and then went through and repeated until I'd filled in the entire structure. And remember to wrap the inner edge and the outer edge with the clay. And also remember when you're texturing with the foil to texture those inner and outer edges as well. Then I just used some miscellaneous colors of brown paint. Brown mixed with black, brown mixed with beige, brown mixed with orange. Don't worry about this step too much. It does not have to be perfect colors. Just glaze over it when you're finished, because this next step is going to rip off some of the color, and you want to protect it with the glaze as much as possible. And then in order to give it a mortar look, I'm going to go and do this the same way as I would grout some towels in the bathroom. And I'm just using a little TLS and white chalk pastel. And just apply it in between all the seams of the stones. There will be excess, and so now you're going to get a little acetone, or basically nail polish remover, and just kind of wipe off the excess. And this is where I was saying that you will rip some of the color off the stones. I'm showing you here. It will rip it off. So you can either leave it that way and it gives it a very natural look, or you can add a little more color if you'd like. But please don't make the color uniform. Glue the interior little water bottle to the outside, or on the inside. And then I'm using these LED balloon lights. These are just balloon lights. They cost about $1 for, if I order them online on eBay, and I got 10 for about $3. And you can wire them together and just put them inside. You can also add a backing. I didn't choose to do so because I'm actually going to use the structure on a dollhouse I'm working on. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Okay, you need to